Terima kasih Tuan Pengurusi Majlis. Salam sejahtera. Good afternoon. I'm very honored and privileged to have been invited to this forum organized by Anak Bangsa Malaysia. And I stand before you this afternoon as one of the Anak Bangsa Malaysia. Not as a politician, not as any other hats wearing, but then as a Malaysian. I've been asked to look into how the Federation has failed Sarawakians. And I've been searching for this 18 points agreement with Sarawak and the Federation of Malaysia. To that, I've not been able to find the hard copy. And I asked Bill last night, I said, I couldn't find it as well. Very elusive. Now, at least the 20 points for Sabah is in existence. But I was, as you read through the internet, read through comments, they said that the 18 points for Sarawak is that one from number 1 to 18, but I don't think so, because the last one is on land as well. So that would be included in the State of Sarawak agreement. Now, the question asked always is, which Dr. Jeffrey had asked us as well, did Sabah Sarawak join Malaysia, or Sabah Sarawak form Malaysia? And we like to believe, and we like to say, as Sarawakians, as Sabahan, and Jeffrey would agree with that because he's gone into this, that we form Malaysia. We didn't join Malaysia. And therefore we are supposed not to be one of the 13 of the state in Malaysia. Now problem arose, of course, when we formed Malaysia, and I like the way a friend who, RPK, the famous blogger, he says this on the formation of Malaysia. The establishment of Malaysia was much like a marriage. Malaya, Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak entered into matrimony on 16 September 1963. Indonesia and the Philippines spoke out against the union instead of forever holding their peace. Despite the opposition, the four regions pledged unity as a single sovereign federation, promising to be faithful and equal partners in good things and in bad, in joy and in sorrow, and they live happily ever after. Question is, did they? And I say from experience, and I say this often from experience, I'm not an expert in this area, but from experiences that I've gone through, and I believe you would. I think I'm just trying to share with you this afternoon, perhaps will be an appetizer to look into the issues, the problems. And I start with the relationship that had gone down, as RPK said, has descended down really into, it's no more that sacrosanct kind of marriage. And we have really gone down into a broken marriage. We call it in-law irretrievable broken marriage. But I think it is because of the structure that the Federation of Malaysia was formed. That is one of the general observations as far as I'm concerned, because you see, Federation itself has this main characteristic, which I believe is present here. As one writer, William Rickett, says that Federation main characteristic is this, is that there should be two levels of government that rule the same land and the same people. Second characteristic is this, that there must be the existence of at least one areas of action in which the government is autonomous. And thirdly, there should be a guarantee of that autonomy. Now the problem with the Federation of Malaysia in its structured form to me is this, that the federal government was given some very special power in the federal constitution to interfere in the states. And that is, for example, Article 150, Declaration of Emergency. The Declaration of Emergency, 150. And in fact today, legally speaking, you ask all the legal experts, we are legally speaking, strictly speaking, still under emergency rule. And the last emergency was never revoked in a sense. Second, Article 76, Parliament can make laws pertaining to any international treaty without the consent of the states. And they can just sign any international treaty with international sovereign nation without even consulting the states. Thirdly, they can, if there is any laws passed by the state inconsistent with the federal laws, then that state laws would fall, null and void to the extent of its inconsistency. So here we see that the power already given to them to interfere in the state affairs. And that's where I see a problem there already, the structure. And they did interfere politically. And the way it faced, of course, you know that in 1969, Seven Kaluningkan in Sarawak, emergency rule, because politically there was some problem. In Kelantan in 1977. So this can be used by the federal government to induce or embrace or suppress the state, or even cause the threat of fear to the various states in Malaysia. So therefore, there is already within the structure itself some weaknesses. Now getting back therefore to Sarawak situation, just give me a warning that I know that I have 30 minutes to just deliver. I hope I can raise a few issues from the 20 points or 18 points that we have told. Now before even the formation of Malaysia, very interestingly, as you read the report, and this book is already a very, it's classic actually, this book now, written by one of those alive today, the signatories to the Malaysian Agreement, Dr. Abah James Shaw. I like to read this because then, under the recommendation report, paragraph 46 of the report of the Commission, Couple Commission, state this. Some of the younger men in predominantly Iban areas were less ready than their chief to accept the proposal of Malaysia, even on condition, and a number were definitely opposed to it. We were reminded that the second, we were reminded that the second of Brunei rule in Borneo in past centuries was far from encouraging, and fears were expressed that the relative backwardness and inexperience of the Ibans might be used to their disadvantage by the more advanced and sophisticated Malays. They wanted to be treated by the Malays as brothers, but not as younger brothers. They were opposed to the idea that Sarawak should be treated as only one of 15 states in the Federation of Malaysia. They maintained that this would give her too small a voice in the new Federation affair. There was fear too that a large proportion of Sarawak's revenue would be handed over to the federal government without a corresponding return in the shape of services to the people of Sarawak. Even before the Federation was formed, fear was already there. And I was amazed at this, even at that particular time. And therefore, even today, it is a reality, I thought that was prophetic in that sense. So we have deteriorated in terms of the federal and state relation throughout the years. That's what's the cause of this whole thing. That's what I was asked to share with you. What's the cause of the whole thing? Now, first thing, I think the federal had taken an approach